Hello, learners. Welcome to the fourth session of the October current affair. In the first three sessions, we did indexes, reports, and random affairs and locations. In the second one, we did governance. We divided into two videos itself. And the third one, we did the international affairs. In the fourth one, we're going to see three basic areas: economy, polity, and ecology. Now, many of the aspects are already covered in the governance area. Some very few specific things will be covered here in these sections. Okay. So first coming to the economy. Now, first of all, this is just again a reminder that's only a current affair class. All the basic static stuff you are supposed to read from your static books, whatever books you are reading or the sources you are following. Just follow from that. Economy will cover only the current affair aspect. That's why the stuff will be a bit less. Okay. So first we'll come to the first topic, that is pepper import. So why it is in news? Because in India, Kerala and Karnataka are the two major pepper producing states. So what was the issue which it became a current affair? That influx of the cheaper imported pepper from the Vietnam via Sri Lanka. So we'll see that because India has an agreement, this one, India Sri Lanka free trade agreement, and another is SAFTA. So we have this agreement that we will import this much of pepper from Sri Lanka without duty. But if it is more than that, then 8% duty we will impose, right? Because in India itself we produce from the Kerala and Karnataka. Now what Vietnam and the other thing is the one from Sri Lanka we are having, from this is India, this is Vietnam we are having. Vietnam but attracts 52% of the duty. Hence, to the if Vietnam wants to get its pepper into India, it has to go through 52% duty. Now what it is doing, it is going through Sri Lanka, right? So that's the issue. So you can see clearly here that earlier, and that is why the crashing of the prices is happening. The crashing of the pepper prices. For example, this last year this time was 700 and this year 390 something. These just are the representative figures. Now, as you see, Sri Lanka 8%, and before that it's free. Then Vietnam 52-54%, and other countries 70%. Hence the pepper prices have fallen in India. So that's the issue. So three things are involved: SAFTA, India, Sri Lanka free trade agreement, and agreement we have with ASEAN also. Okay. Next is advanced transfer pricing mechanism. Now, what it is? This is the agreement between the taxpayer and the tax authorities fixing the transfer pricing methodology, introduced in 2012, CBDT, Central Board of Direct Tax. Okay. So first of all, India has taken initiative to improve its tax regime, and one of the important component is this advanced pricing agreements. So what it is basically, tax authority and the company will have an they will decide that how will the taxation, the sales thing will be calculated. So at the end there is no issue of tax evasion or manipulation from the side of the company, and there is no coercion from the side of the tax authority. So it gives a more stability in, first of all, projection itself, that we will get to know how much tax we are getting, and also it will be hassle free for both the parties. Now, one concept I want to again, this is again these are the reforms that we are taking on the tax front. Now, this is ease of doing. Just to tell you the integration of the topics, this ease of doing business index we already done at. For example, just see this component, paying taxes. So we have improved from 156 to 121. Still we are very much behind, right? But still the improvements, many of the steps taken by India, for example, the GST itself, improving this advanced pricing agreement, the committees are formed to form direct tax code. That will be the next piece of reforms needed in the tax structure of India. We need a direct tax code. So that is why India is seeing an improvement in taxation, but still a lot of problem remains, right? Economic survey in the 2 years have come up with the problem of taxation, ease of doing justice next frontier. The reforms are needed in the contract reinforcement and many more things. Don't get confused. So this is APA. Now I just want to explain you transfer pricing mechanism, because that's a bit tricky. So transfer pricing mechanism and how it is, why the tax authority wants to have an APA on it, advanced pricing agreement on it. Okay. Now let us assume a big corporation is there, A, and it has two enterprises of its, B and C. Okay, B enterprise produces the car horns, and A enterprise produces the cars. Okay, now car horns are taken inside car from B to C. C takes car horn from the B because it is the same company. Now transfer pricing is this only, because the C can also take the horns from the market. Market means other entities. So there is a market price and there is an inside price, right? Now companies try to manipulate this inside price so as to avoid the taxation, right? Now we'll see how. For example, let us assume these company B and C are in the two different tax countries. Now what A does or B or C does, they pay, for example, 1000 rupees is the price of the car horn, and they pay 5000 to say that they are making a very quality horn, and they are paying too much money here, inflating the price. So their ultimately the profits of C will be less. Why? Because overall cost will increase. For example, they have to pay 5000 to B, so their profits will decrease, and the tax is taken on the profit, so tax will decrease, their tax burden will decrease of the company. Similarly, their sales will increase, the corn or sales will increase, their profits will increase, and their tax liability will increase, right? But imagine these two B and C are placed in two different countries. For example, this is a tax haven country, for example, very little tax, and this is a very tax intensive country. Okay, this is a tax haven country and this is a tax intensive country. Now in the tax haven country, they will be paying no less or no tax, and they are reducing their tax liability in the tax intensive country, and by manipulating this price. So this is the problem. You got me? Very easy concept. So by doing this, by manipulating the prices between their subsidiaries, they are able to do that. Now tax authority do not want this to happen. This is not right. So that is why they have an advanced pricing agreement to how to carry out this transfer pricing. Okay, so this is the transfer pricing mechanism. Next topic we'll see special and differential treatments, S and DT. So these are the provision which give developing countries special rights. Very easy, special and differential treatment under WTO, which gives developed countries, which gives possibility to treat developing countries more favorably than the other WTO countries. Means developed countries will treat developing countries more favorably because they are not at the same level of development than those countries. Same reason they are uneven level of development between the developed and the developing country, and that is why we have this special and differential treatment. Now people say it goes against the idea of free trade. No, this is free and fair trade also, the idea of equity and equality, right? We see in the polity. So the Doha Declaration and the Bali Ministerial Conference both agree to it, because all the member government agreed that all these things should be the integral part of the WTO agreement. And they, in Bali Ministerial Conference in 2013, they established a mechanism to review and analyze the implementation of the special and differential treatment provisions. Okay, so that's it. On the static front, what you must know all about the WTO, important ministerial conferences. The recent ministerial conference, what were the outcomes? We will see. If that will be covered in current affairs, we will see that month current affair. You need to know the basic principles of WTO, like most favored nation, national treatment. These are the basic principles of WTO. Okay. Next, a report. I should have covered in the report portion, but actually it's a more economy centric. That is why I've kept it here. So report done by RBI, state finances and study of the budgets of the state. So annual study by the state level budget. So what are the findings? The similar finding that were found in the we'll see in the economic survey also, that states gross fiscal deficit has remained within the FRBM threshold of 3% under the GDP, right? Means states are following the FRBM targets. State government have regularly met their fiscal deficit targets. Overall debt to GDP is also less, from 25% to has increased from 22% to 25%, right? So this is just a report that came out to that became here. What static things you must do, that is not current affair parts, right? But if in news, we'll cover that in the respective month. So for example, you need to know NK Singh committee, it was in the news in 2017-18. The recommendation given by the NK Singh committee for fiscal consolidation of independent fiscal council. You should write also down these things: independent fiscal council that will make government accountable for adhering to the FRBM targets. They talked about that we should not have a strict limitation, we should have some flexibility also. And they talked that the GDP to debt to GDP is a better indicator than the fiscal deficit targets. Okay, and it has also given a roadmap for the future also. Okay, so NK Singh committee is very important. Next, as I told you, that economic survey in 2016-17, I think they come up with this chapter, fiscal rules lesson from the state. So they come up with this analysis, the findings may RBI, the similar findings, and they gave out some of the reasons also why states were able to adhere to these boundaries, these fiscal deficit targets. Okay. Next thing is adjusted gross revenue. Now, from the name itself, it's a bit confusing, but it is relevant to the telecos for Jio, Airtel, Reliance, Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, Idea. So what is it? It is the uses and the licensing fee that telecom operators are charged by the DOT. Now it has been in controversy from 2003, the definition of the AGR. What should be a definition? So spectrum usage charge and licensing fee pegged between 3 to 5% and 8% respectively. It is not the important part, is in the next slide. So what is the issue? As per the Department of Telecommunication, the charges are calculated based upon all the revenues earned by telecos. So they want to inflate their, they think that the base should be large, on which these charges, these usage charges and the licensing fee should be calculated. Obviously, what telecos will say, they will say that telcos will say that the AGR should comprise only of the revenue generated from the telecom service and not from the non-telecom service. So basically, revenue they are coming from the, just one second, telecom service and the non-telecom service. So government will say this should be the base, and the companies will say that no, only this should be the base. These non-telecom services like deposit interest and asset sales, this should not become the part of the base on which the licensing fee or the users fee should be calculated. Okay, so SC judgment has upheld the definition of adjusted gross revenue, the calculation by DOT, and that's an issue. So Supreme Court said that the government version is right. So obviously the telecoms will have a larger burden, so they have to dole out more money. They will have that much money pending. Obviously they are in stress, and this adds to that stress. So that is an issue. Now, if you see here in the last judgment, one of the high courts said that telecos revenue cannot be included. Earlier the judgment came in the favor of the telecos, but however in the Supreme Court judgment it was reversed. Okay, so this much too much, it is 1.34 lakh crore rupee, this much is spending. So recently we came to know, even if you are reading current affairs or not, but you know that our prices of all the recharges have increased, right? Jio has increased from 399 to 599, Airtel and Idea has increased. So this is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons behind that. So the increased prices, why, when and how much, everything we need to know. So that is because of the Supreme Court judgment on the AGR. Supreme Court judgment on the AGR for these operators. Now when everything falls into place, it feels so good, right? Because we have seen why we only know that only the prices have increased and telecos are in the stress. But to get the real reason behind this, it feels good, right? If it's a complete scenario is no. Okay, and mobile being such an integral part to our life. Okay, next is merchant discount rate. UPSC has already asked question on the merchant discount rate, but for the sake of the completion and also the development, we need to know it. So merchant discount rate, how it operates actually, just see the diagram, you will understand. For example, you swipe a card of 100 rupees. So you swipe a card of 100 rupees. So the bank, for example, 100 rupees at a petrol pump. So it is the price paid by the petrol pump to the bank. So bank cuts 1 rupee and it pays only 99 rupee to the petrol pump. So very easy concept, that petrol pump ultimately gets only 99 rupees. So it is the MDR is the price paid by the merchant to the bank. Now bank distributes this 1 rupee between the card issuing bank, the payment gateway like payment, Visa, RuPay, and the bank that provides the POS machine. So it is divided, that 1 rupee is divided into these three. And that is the reason many of the times you have seen, if you want to do some credit card transaction, they say, na, if you are giving cash, we will, you must have, that's a practical thing many times, that how you are paying. If this is a credit card, so we'll pay, you have to pay 6,000. If you say by cash, they'll say, okay, then pay us 5,700 or pay us 5,500, something like that. Okay. So this is again in news. So earlier during the demonetization, government has come up with many provisions so that the merchants accept these cards. They have waived off the MDR. For example, in 2017, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has said that MDR would be reimbursed by the government on the transaction up to 2,000 rupees. So that people use these cards for the small transactions only. MDR became a very critical issue. That is why it got introduced into the prelims examination also. Okay. Now what has happened now? Now Union government said the banks or the system providers will not impose the charges on the merchant discount rate on the customers and the merchants on the digital payment made to the establishment having turnover in excess of 50 crores. So the MDRs will not be imposed on the establishment, those who have this much turnover. Okay, and the amendments have been taken place. In the first class, in the second class, in the governance class, we also talked about this acceptance development fund. So it was set up by RBI, just to reiterate, to improve last mile connectivity, from where the money will come, just to reinforce the current affairs that will be called merchant discount rates, from the fee collected from the merchant discount rates. I'll be doing that. This is the first month current affair that we are doing, October month. Now when the of November come, and June, July, August, I'll keep on revisiting the slides so that all the revision also takes place simultaneously, whatever be the interconnected topics are there. Okay, the same detail by the Nandan, we discussed that, so not to be discussed. Nandan Nilekani committee was formed with respect to RBI's payment system vision document. So just remember, it is not a government or Department of Economic Affairs or something Department of Financial Services. No, it is of RBI, this one, payment system vision document. Okay. Next is a concept is middle income trap. Very easy concept. Basically, the definition is given: country that have experienced the rapid growth and thus quickly reach middle income status with the GNP per capita between 1,000 to 12,000, but have failed to overcome that income range to further catch up to the developed countries and achieve the high income status. They failed to achieve the high income status. So basically, they grow. For example, just one second. Yeah, just one second. Yeah, this one, if you see, for example, these are the low income countries. They are the low income countries. The country grows, obviously, it becomes a middle income growth, and then it is the high income thing. And this is the middle income. This is the low income, middle income, high income. Okay. So what middle income trap says, a country goes from low to middle, but it becomes trap in this. It does not cross this hurdle to get into the high income, right? So this is called the middle income trap. So it is the same definition is mentioned there. If you can see, the country that have experienced high growth but failed to overcome the income range to catch up with the developed countries and achieve high income status. So a relatively new phenomenon was first mentioned in 2007 by the report of World Bank. Economic survey also in the recent last year's economic survey talked about late convergence stall, that the India's convergence with the high level countries will stall. So countries, it posed a question to the intellectuals and to itself. So issue is country caught a middle income trap, unable to compete with the low income, low wage economies in manufacturing exports, and unable to compete with the high advanced economy with the high skill innovation, right? So that becomes a problem, because if you are poor, if you are very poor, then you have a very low cost manufacturing. Now you become middle income, your manufacturing cost increases. But due to lack of skills, for example, government economic services, 4 horsemen. So 4 obstacles are in front of India. Just very briefly, I'll mention. So India can fall into the middle income trap, because India is facing a few of the problems also. What are the problems? For example, first problem is the skilling of Indians, employability of Indians. Next, the lack of investment in the social infrastructure like health and education. The global headwinds in the form of the declining, for example, the receding sentiments for the globalization. America first, India, America first. These sentiments, especially in the Western world. So when the other countries, for example, Germany and these countries, got above the high income range, there were good sentiments for the free trade. So they got all the benefit of the globalization. When it is the turn of India, the tide against the phenomenon of deglobalization. The phenomenon of deglobalization is happening. So when it is a turn of India to knock on the doors of the high income countries, this deglobalization is coming on. China's, right? So these are the another factors are also there. For example, global financial architecture is facing a strain, especially after 2008 crisis. So these are the 4 horsemen the survey mentioned. This one we've discussed. Next, so that's the middle income trap. Next, we'll see, it was in the news again, though it's an old scheme, sovereign gold bond scheme. So obviously it is to reduce our independence on the gold imports. Now it is related with that is your homework and your static revise, that the CAD, right? The deficit, current account deficit, that gold affects the current account deficit, and over how it impacts our whole economy. So details are minimum amount you can invest, that 1 gram gold, and the maximum for 4 kg you can invest as an individual. Okay. So other details are not too much important. They will give the, for example, why we buy gold, right? Many of the people buy gold for the jewelry purpose, but majority of the people also buy gold also for the investment purpose, right? So government is saying, don't buy that gold, we'll give you this bond or something on the rate of the gold, and we'll provide you the extra interest also. So don't buy that gold. So if that gold is bought, the problem of the CAD and all these problems happen. We have to import a lot of gold, right? Next topic is power purchase agreements. So what are these power purchase agreements? Very easy concept. So this is a power producer and this is the power consumer. So it is the agreement between those two outside the normal grid thing. It goes to grid, but or the normal like BSES, Rajdhani or something. So it is an agreement between the who is purchasing and who is generating the electricity, and those who are purchasing the electricity. The agreement between those two. Next is fake Indian currency notes. One of the problem of the organized crime in India. One of the biggest organized crime in India, the fake currency Indian notes. Now, one of the purpose of the demonetization was to reduce this this fake Indian currency notes, right? But a recent report and which is the nodal agency for related case, just remember that NIA. Just remember, and that NIA, National Investigating Agency, set up after 26/11, right? So it nodal agency for FICN related cases. A recent report says that of NCRB data, a very recent, for example, you can see in January itself. I saw it on Twitter, so it was a bit hilarious or unfortunate that both the demonetization was one of the reasons of demonetization was to reduce the fake currency notes. But recent says that more than 56% of the fake currency is of 2000 rupee notes, right? Despite all the security features. So the way we are improving as the law enforcement agencies and the security agencies, the crime industry also flourishes. Next is Bharat 22 Exchange Traded Fund. Bharat 22 Exchange Traded Fund. So Bharat 22 Exchange Traded Fund is basically ETF funds. So they become very um, very selected means or very favorable means of disinvestment by the government, because you see, very easy. For example, they have to disinvest between the two companies, A company and B company. Let's example this. A company is making profit of let's say 20% per year. So if they want to disinvest this, it will be easy for them. Okay, everyone will buy the share of this and it will be disinvested easily. But B company is making profit of only 5%, or sometimes it is also making the loss of 2%. So it is fluctuating and not giving high returns. So nobody will buy something in this. What ETF does is basically pools many companies. It pools many companies into the single fund, and so as to the main purpose is risk mitigation. Risk mitigation, just one second. Risk mitigation, right? So it is an exchange traded fund. It is SEBI related mutual fund. It is there to increase the process of the disinvestment. It includes under one roof the 22 blue chip, like it includes within under one roof to 22 blue chip like IOC, ONGC, SBI. We will see that. So it is not only the public sector things, but also the private sector. For example, the risk mitigation thing I talked about, right? So it is working at the many level. First of all, the companies that are performing good or bad, and also sector wise also. Sector wise, you can see, for example, sometimes FMCG sector is doing well, financial sector is not doing well, or utility sector is doing well, some sector is not doing well, right? So you can see that. First, secondly, you can see the banks. SBI is also there and Axis Bank is also there. So that means it has the other private sector banks also. Okay. So, Baki, everything is mentioned here. ETF are akin to mutual fund, but they have different asset basket, like the share of an index, and everything is very easy. Again, the constituents, the energy, finance, FMCG. Who is managing it? Just remember, ICICI Prudential is managing the Bharat ETF fund. I've taken a very latest screenshot. For example, yeah, this as on 30th January 2020. So a very latest screenshot has been taken to show the what is the net asset value, what is the growth, and what is the age or something. Okay. And also government is trying to bring this recent budget also. We'll discuss the budget in the coming videos. Not in the current affair class, but that will be a separate video for the budget. So in that also, one of the target is taken from the ETF itself. Okay. Next is index of industrial production. Now it is released first of all by CSO. Very easy. You must remember all the indexes because that's one of the hot questions in the test series. So base year is, everybody knows, 2011-12. Few important things, but index of 8 core industries is released by Office of Economic Advisor, DIPP. Just remember that, because in IIP, for example, IIP, one of the 8 core, for example, IIP, this 37% of IIP becomes this 8 core industry, but it is released by the different organization. Just remember that. Okay. So yeah, so what you need to remember, the 8 core industries. Now UPSC has asked question. First of all, they've asked question, what are these core industry? They went one level ahead. They asked you the weight of these 8 core industries. So it is one of the hot topics because it shows the real manufacturing growth in India, one of the indicators of it. So you can see Office of Economic Advisor under the this is one of the most important departments, Office of Economic Advisor under the DIIT, Department of Promotion, Industry and Internal Trade, which is responsible for both external and internal trade of India, and it is concerned with WPI. It is concerned with 8 core industries. 8 core industry, ICI. Just remember that is not IIP. IIP is read by CSO. Okay. And the other index, Experimental Service Price Index also. That's not too much in news, but still, that's all in, India Airbook stuff, right? Next is this thing, the weight I wanted to show you right from the PDF itself, right? No, the original things just give more weightage, give more credibility to the document. So highest weightage is for the refinery products. If you see here, highest for refinery products. Second highest is for the electricity, 90%. Then steel or something. You can arrange it and make a code or something, make some mnemonic so that you can remember the weights. Okay. Next, so we have ended our economy. We have different topics that we have seen. Now we'll come under polity. Many of the polity topics, many of the people consider the government schemes under the polity, but that's what I did, right? I took the government schemes, the biggest chunk, or like 1 hour 20 minutes video you can see in the YouTube before these videos, third and fourth video. So 2 videos we have covered with the governance topics. So in the polity we'll see very less topics. So let's see the topics first. A few legislations we'll see. Legislation, constitution in news. So legislation draft seed bill is in the news. So it was published by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. More details will come only when the bill is discussed and bill is passed through. That will be more important from the previous perspective. But just to give you the context, so the bill itself says that India has emerged the 5th largest seed market across the globe. Active participation of both public and the private sector has played a crucial role for the industry. Now, one of the problems for your homework, just get to know what is seed replacement ratio. It is one of the concepts in agriculture, seed replacement ratio, right? So just remember, make a list of the topics I am saying also, because everything obviously in the class itself will try to cover everything, but many of the topics come spontaneously to me also when I get to the class, because one topic has so many linkages with the other topics. So seed becomes one of the most important factor in the cropping process. The seed decides how much irrigation it needs, how much what quality of soil it needs. So seed becomes a very important ingredient in the agriculture, especially when the Indian agriculture is facing a lot of stress. Okay. So related with it, there is an Indian seed program is there. It recognizes 3 stages of the seed production. First is breeder, then foundation, and then certified seeds. So the breeder seeds, the earliest stage, breeder seed, foundational seed, and the certified seed. So it is produced by the research organization, that is ICAR, Agriculture Research. The nodal ICAR is also the nodal agency for the agriculture extension and research services. Next, foundational seeds. They are produced by the National Seeds Corporation and State Farm Corporation of India, National Seed Corporation, private seed producers, and plus private seed producers. Certified seeds are produced and distributed by the state governments. Okay, so just remember those. Which institute is responsible for the different kinds of seeds also. Quality regulation under Seed Act. This licensing regulation under this, not too much important. Other details, FAO of FAO, whose headquarters last year we discussed, right, in Rome, has came up with a voluntary guide for the national seed policy formulation, which recommends the country to have both seed policy and a seed law. Okay, so they have come up with an advisory. For example, like we discussed in the last class, that World Economic Forum has come up with the policy and the recommendation that one should have a very good drone legislation, right, Ministry of Civil Aviation. So constitution news, we discussed in the second class that about the policy of the for water is in news. So also the articles with respect to the local body in water management under 11th schedule and 12th schedule. 11th is for panchayat and 12th is for the municipality. Sometimes the confusion is in the exam, these confusions happen. 11th, 12th we know that panchayat municipality or municipality panchayat, so that becomes an issue. So just remember, first panchayat, then municipality, PM, you can remember like that. So municipality means urban local bodies can be interested with the water supply for domestic, industrial and commercial purposes, and the 11th schedule for the panchayats. Another thing you need to remember with that 11, the panchayat PM, right? So prime has the 29 subjects and M has only the 18 subjects. Just remember the subjects also, because they can switch any of the things. For example, they can switch 3 things are there, right? 11, 12 schedule, panchayat, municipality, and 29 and 18. So they can mix any of the things. And some confusions can be there if you do not know exactly the details. That is why prelims is different from the mains, right? Mains you can write anything, but in the prelims you have to be very specific. So complementary static read for you is to read about more of the Panchayati Raj and the municipality, and the committees related with the Panchayati Raj and the different municipality. In the books we read, for example, Lakshmikant, many people read Lakshmikant, so in which they have differentiated a lot of municipality. Some are under the state control, some under central control, and the other things, right? So that's it for your polity thing. Now we come to the ecology, the last section of our discussion. So in the ecology, first we will discuss about the asbestos in the baby powder. So basically what is asbestos is a term, it is one of the 6 naturally occurring silicate material. It is like a thin fibrous crystal, a long and thin fibrous crystal, each fiber being composed of many microscopic fibrils that can be released into atmosphere by abrasion and the other process. So it is a basically, it contains a fibrous material. What are the properties that is important for us? So it is basically very resilient to fire and heat. The fibers are often mixed with cement and the woven into the fabrics or the mats. It fabrics and the mat so that it has the heat, the capacity of heat, and fabric is the heat resistance of their increases, right? So these desirable property leads to asbestos being used very widely. These lead to asbestos, they use very widely. Okay, these properties make asbestos very desirable content, desirable thing. Now why these are misused? So again, the facts, you can see asbestos currently not banned in USA, many banned in many countries, and it is used for because of its resistance to heat, and but its exposure, that is the problem. Everything is fine, that no issue. If exposure is primary cause of the mesothelioma cancer, so it is one of the cancer type, not too much into it, but can cause cancer. Exposure can lead to cancer, and that is why they are making in the talcum powder. In the recent studies, it came that Johnson's baby powder contains some of the asbestos that can cause the carcinogenic element. So, and especially for the babies who have very less tolerance and resistance to this, right? So that means that becomes a big issue, especially for the children, right? Next is our Deep Carbon Observatory. So what it is, just need to remember that it's a global research program designed to transform understanding of carbon's role in the earth. Why it was important? Because it completed 10 years in the earth. Now every research now coming up, whether it be IPCC research or these research, they are just telling the one simple truth, that climate change is happening, right? And they come up with different data only. So the same thing, human activity churns out up to 100 times more planet warming carbon each year as the volcanoes on earth, because one of the process by which carbon accumulates in the atmosphere is volcanoes also. But Indian human activity is the great acceleration. One of the living planet report talked about the great acceleration brought about the the human beings. So that is why they have called the new age also. And last year it was in current affair, Anthropocene, the new age brought about by the whole new age because of the interventions of the humans. Otherwise age are brought, geological age are divided based on the natural events, but the recent age was introduced, that is Anthropocene, right? So that's it in this. Next is we have discussed that on C14 World's Mayor Summit, the Kejriwal controversy, remember? So Copenhagen, it was organized. So it started in 2005 as a 96 member country. So city leaders from around the world share ideas on the green urban development. Cities from India that are part of C40 are Delhi, NCT, Bangalore, Chennai, and Kolkata. The metro countries, right? Metro cities. Okay. It has offices in New York, US. Not too much important. Just need to remember that they are not part of UNFCCC, because too much these weird questions have been asked in UPSC in the last especially in last 2 to 3 years. The randomness, right? The same event that we discussed, Copenhagen, 9 to 12th October, Kejriwal was given the permission, then he took up a video conferencing call. Next, we'll discuss Asia Environment Enforcement Award awarded to one of the IOFS, that is Indian Forest Service. Just 1 second. Yeah. So Indian Forest Service Officer Ramesh Pandey selected for this. So it is under UNEP. The most important thing is just remember this, UNEP. I also tell my students to prepare separate lists. For example, the efforts taken by UNDP, the efforts taken by UNEP, because ultimately these are very important, because too much confusion is there. For example, efforts taken by WWF, very tough. Let me tell you, it is very tough to remember whether it was UNDP, whether it was UNEP. So also remember this. For example, when you're reading Asia Environment Enforcement Award, you know that it is under UNEP. You have read it. Now, wherever you're making notes, just add to your notes that UNEP is associated with this also. UNEP associated with Asia something and plus other things, something like that. Okay. So it was awarded to Ramesh thing for AMISTRIPS. Very important. It has been asked in the UPSC also. AMISTRIPS monitoring and system for tiger intensive protection ecological status. A novel software based patrolling in the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve on the recommendation of NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority. Who is the head of NTCA? Head is MOEF minister, right? So this is the same PPT taken from the Impetus series. We have also Impetus series, if you can see on the Amrita Civil Service YouTube channel. So we have Impetus series going on which I have discussed in detail all the tiger reserve, and I've also given the logic why it is important. I've associated last 5 to 6 year question with respect to that also. So Dudhwa National Park, you can see the location in the UP in the India-Nepal border, right? AMISTRIPS is also in there, the same name that we discussed. It's a mobile monitoring system for forest guards launched by NTCA. The proper slogan is T into 2, that is to double the tiger population in the wild. Okay. In the Impetus series itself, I have discussed about the Tiger Summit, the Global Tiger Recovery Program, the GTI. GTI is also in the coming slides. Okay. So this was the question in 2017 pre that AMISTRIPS is come sometimes in news in the context of maintenance of tiger reserve, right? Now we come to a new concept. Now different faster principles. So these are the principles given by the World Bank and OECD for the carbon pricing. I think you know carbon pricing. That is your homework. That is came out of the Kyoto Protocol. So when the emission gap trading and all these things happen, we'll try to discuss what are the concepts as well. How much we can include, as much as we can include in our current affair class, because also we have the time restraint with us, right? We have to complete the whole month's current affair in less than 5 hours. So that's the constraint we put on ourselves. So that's to give you the maximum efficiency and also make sure that you have all the current affair knowledge, and associated the complementary static will hint you. For example, hinting here this emission cap trading and all these things, carbon pricing. So these are they have taken just from the PDF itself. They have a PDF on this for successful carbon pricing and approach based on the initial experience. Okay. Carbon pricing is important because in the economic survey, the chapter was included in 2016-17, and they've asked in the 15 itself, and they've asked the question in 16 about the carbon pricing. Next, carbon pricing leadership coalition. So again, a voluntary initiative. First of all, you need to remember that it is World Bank Group. Again, you may have to UNEP. Just also remember about this World Bank and all these things also. Okay. So this is a voluntary initiative of 34 national and the sub-national government and all over 163 business and NGO secretariat administered by the World Bank Group. And from India, DMRC and Indian Railways are the government level partners. Just remember that DMRC and Indian Railways. Next news is very random news. India's oldest bamboo. So it is found in the Backcomb coalfield in Assam. So India is home to Asia's old bamboo. So basically we are trying that every news, whether it's covered in your traditional current affairs sources that you see, and also nothing should be left from the Hindus also. So 2 fossils dating back to 25 million years were found in these fossils, and there different names are given, right? Just remember that the oldest bamboo was found, oldest bamboo. So their fossils will be seen, right? Okay. Bamboo is also known as green gold in 2018-19 budget, or I don't exactly remember which budget. The government has come up with restructured national bamboo missions. So bamboo also become very important. Not too much from the prelim perspective, but also I'll say from the main perspective, because bamboo is the green gold, right? So that is very important because government is putting a lot of emphasis on the bamboo, especially with respect to the northeast and the development of the tribal areas and the forest areas. Okay. Next is one of the animals we will see. The Tasmanian tiger is in news. So basically it's in Australia. Status was extinct, but recently the news came that after 80 years it was gone to be extinct. It is reported. If you see Google the Tasmanian tiger, you will see many of the documented videos and some TV series they are thinking of come up with. So a popular character, but recently been witnessed in the Australia. Okay. Next, Global Snow Leopard Ecosystem and Protection Program. So it is an intergovernmental alliance of the 12 snow leopard range countries. Intergovernmental alliance, remember that. Okay. So for the 12 snow leopard range countries, partners are the central country government, non-governmental and intergovernmental organization, local communities, and the private sector. So just remember that. Okay, the motto is secure 20 by 2020. So India also taking steps for the snow leopards. We'll see that. Snow leopard itself, it's a vulnerable species in the IUCN Red List. So where it is in India, basically Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh in the upper reaches. You also see your homework is snow leopard is the state animal of which state. Okay, the government initiative project Snow Leopard 2009 centrally sponsored. Project Snow Leopard we have centrally sponsored scheme. So these are the countries. So these are the 12 snow leopard range countries. Just have an idea that which are these countries. Obviously, as we discussed, it will be in the Himalayan ranges. So if you see, for example, India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Mongolia, Russia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, here, Uzbekistan, right? Tajikistan, here, Tajikistan is here, and yeah, we are done. So 12 countries, right? So try to remember the range. So you can eliminate a few, as in Kazakhstan is also there. So all the Tan except the Turkmenistan, all the Tans are here, right? Turkmenistan is not here. Okay, so how to remember all this? So one of the tricks you can follow, for example, you also remember SCO country, right? So SCO we have, for example, for SCO, in SCO we have India, we have China, we have Russia, and we have all this four nation, not Turkmenistan. So first thing SCO, from SCO we get 7 countries, remaining 5 countries. So 5 countries, Himalayan countries, which we can include. Just remember Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan, Afghanistan. So you can see them from the SAARC itself, right? Just include the SAARC countries minus India. Obviously included Indian SCO. Just I'm giving you the trick how you can remember. So India you can remove from the SCO, and obviously how Sri Lanka and Maldives will be part of it, and Bangladesh, right? So remove all those countries also. Okay, so we have 4 countries from here: Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan. 4 countries from SCO, 7 plus 4, and can include just Mongolia, because Russia and China, between Russia and China, Mongolia is there. So in this way you can remember SCO 7 countries, SAARC 4 countries, and 1 country is Mongolia. So this is the snow leopard range. Okay, similar to that's a global tiger initiative. In this I've included it because in 2013 the scope of this global tiger initiative, which started in 2008, it is again in the impetus series, because impetus series is specifically focused only on the tiger. So scope was broadened to include the snow leopard in 2013. Now initiative was in 13 tiger range countries. So these are the 13 tiger range countries: India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, not Singapore, and that's it, Indonesia. So 12 countries are there. So how we can remember these are 12, some of the 12 snow leopard country, 13 tiger range countries. So just remember the common countries also and the other countries. So with that you can remember it. Okay, next is emperor penguins. So another species in news. So locations Antarctica. I have seen them, one of the, not many of the, but few of the zoos, or they are, or the different ex situ conservation we seen, right? So they are there. Almost the whole room is freezed, and then they are there. Okay. Next is sudden stratospheric warming. So unusual warming event observed over the Antarctica. So it is over the Antarctica, linked with ozone hole shrinking over the pole. Stratospheric warming is common and occurs in every second year on the average in the northern hemisphere associated with the cold weather, but is a rarity in the southern hemisphere, and it leads to the shrinking of the ozone hole. A very normal thing. You must know on the static front that how the ozone gets affected, what is the process, what the chemical reaction goes on, how the ozone hole becomes, the clouds are there. In the geography and the ecology, you must remember those stratospheric cloud, right? So please do it from your static reading. Next, India's first e-waste clinic. So e-waste rules and all the rules in 2016, so many rules came. That is why mains preparation became a bit tough, because so many rules have come into the picture. So India has come up with India's first e-waste clinic. It is supported by CPCB in the Bhopal in compliance with the solid waste management rules 2016. Okay, in Bhopal. So that was the news. It was Bhopal when the first e-waste clinic is there, and India is facing a lot of problem of e-waste. Because why e-waste problem India is having, apart from the other country? Because of the population, the changing nature. Every 2 months the iPhone or the Samsung launches a new brand, plus the disposable income is increasing, plus the software upgradation is very fast. Earlier we used to have only, if someone has 512 MB RAM, we were so happy, but now 8 MB RAM, 20 MB RAM, 24 MB RAM. So this much have become, so it's not MB, sorry, GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM. These are the common in the 13,000, 14,000 phones only, right? So phones have become cheap, competition has become high. So e-waste, too much e-waste is there. And plus India has a very large unregulated, unorganized sector in the e-waste. Not too much recycling facilities are there, right? Next is unusual movement of the moth and the butterfly causing a flutter. So basically it is the news, it was one of the research, scientists research, because of climate change is prompting a habitat change in Himalayas. One of the studies also showed in the related thing, one of the change, the climate change is decreasing the population of butterflies, and that is one of the causing, because they are very much important for the flowering of the crops and all. So if their population decreases, it becomes a huge ecological concern. So there is a publication in the ZSI, Zoological Survey of India, assemblage of the Lepidoptera in selected protected areas. They have done some research and they have come up with this analysis. Okay. So where they have studied, you can mark in your maps also. Ashok Wildlife Sanctuary in Uttarakhand, Neora Valley National Park in West Bengal. These are not very much important. Valley of Flower is important, the national park. These wildlife sanctuary you should avoid. Don't read it. You can read also, but that will be too much to read, because we have more than 500 wildlife sanctuary. That is why I've taken tiger reserve, because only 50 tiger reserves we have. We also have the limitation to a brain also, right? Our memory is also limited. Now that brings me to the last topic of the day, the green firecrackers. So developed by CSIR NERI, that is National Environment Engineering and Research Institutions. CSIR has so many institutions. So what is the name? Basically in the prelim perspective, this was important, that is SWAS, Safal and Star. The name they can ask, what is this? So these are the green firecrackers. Especially after the 2018 ban by the Supreme Court of the firecrackers in Delhi, because after next day to Delhi, I've been to Delhi. So in the Delhi, I've seen the clouds become like you're not able, you see in the 3 o'clock in the day itself, you see black clouds in the sky. Especially that becomes especially after Diwali, because of the stubble burning in the adjoining states, and also because of the crackers. So that is why the government is coming with initiative, so as to build the sustainability portion into the economy, and because the huge human resource also associated with the firecrackers, right? So they will be a bit costly, but wahi baat hai na ki those who want to burn firecrackers, they spend a lot of money. So if they can do it with these things. So what are the benefits? Basically, what are the crackers? Such crackers are defined as those which avoid the harmful chemicals, and in the manufacturing process lessens the use of the ashes, which contributes to the particulate matter emission when burned. They would have to avoid barium, lithium, arsenic, lead. These are the harmful elements. Aluminium has also been replaced by the magnesium based compound. So just remember that magnesium is there, because in the emotions we will say green hai to nothing is there. Obviously something has to be there, that will make them flammable or something. Then they will do the work of firecrackers, right? So what is the benefit? Obviously the reduced emission of the particulate matter and the toxic elements. Okay. So with this, I think we come to our end of our class. So again 55 minutes something 54-minute class will be there. Overall the point is current affair, this is the 4th class we have ended, just one class is remaining. We will have that class upload very quickly also after this class. The whole point is this: there will be some current affairs which you think we have missed out, but as we said in the starting itself, we promise you that nothing will be missed. After the October will come the November. We'll try, for example, I've missed out some, I've intentionally left a few facts because that make more sense when the, for example, the FAME scheme, right? So I've left out the FAME scheme because I know National Electricity Mobility Mission has to be covered along with it. So I will cover that mission, then I will cover the FAME scheme or something, FAME 2 scheme or something like that. So don't worry that some exclusion, some things we are leaving, don't worry. In the coming months till your examination, before examination, before we'll upload all the videos, the content, the compilations we'll try to upload also. So we will try to make sure that you get a very comprehensive and holistic current affair content. Okay, thank you for now. The last video of October will be there soon. So that will contain the defense portion, the exercises that we do with the nation, the missiles in the news, the very tough, the warships, different warships, Kaveri, Kanderi and all these, if they are in the news. Next, science and tech, we will say, and art and culture. So that will be an end to our October month current affair. Then we'll start the November month. Okay, see you then. Thank you.